So next up is the row, and if you know the column, you basically know the row. They are extremely similar to each other. One just works vertically and the other horizontally. So taking what we have on the screen here, let's take out some of these containers. Let's just keep the top 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll just delete the rest. I'm going to get rid of this single child scroll view, so I can do that with Visual Studio Code by hovering or clicking on the widget, going to the light bulb, and selecting remove this widget. You can also manually delete it, but that's a lot easier because it gets that trailing parentheses. Why don't I get rid of cross-axis and main axis alignment? And we will simply change our column to a row. And when we save that, we're going to see that rather than stacking these widgets in a vertical direction, they are now going in a horizontal direction. And so the same properties are here. We can do main axis size, and we can say main axis size minimum. And we're going to see that the size of the row goes from taking up all the way to the edge of the phone to just the minimum amount. I'm going to change that back to maximum. We have the same main axis alignment option, except that the main axis alignment on our column was up and down. The main axis alignment on our row is going to be left to right. So if I center this, these are going to center in a horizontal manner. And the cross-axis alignment is now just the opposite. So if I center here, I can see this stays in the center where it is by default, or if I want it to move to the top, I can say start, and this should move right up here to the top line. And if I say end, it should come down here to the bottom. So same thing, except the cross-axis is up and down in a row, which is a little confusing, but it makes sense if you think about it, because the main axis is going the direction that the widgets are flowing. We do have the same pitfall here in that this row by default is only taking up the space available, and that space available is the width of the phone. So if we add a bunch of widgets and we overflow, we are going to get the overflow error. And you can resolve that just the way you resolved the column by wrapping the row in a single child scroll view, which remember is not an option. So we'll wrap with the basic widget and type in single child scroll view. And if we save that, we're going to continue get an error because the single child scroll view by default is going up and down. So we need to add a scroll direction property value, and that would be axis.horizontal. All right, so if you do that, you should now be able to drag the widgets from side to side and see them all. Now, as I mentioned with the column, there are some consequences to doing what we just did. There are reasons that the row and column are designed to go to the edge of the phone and stop. And there are widgets that are specifically designed to do what we're doing here, which is to extend off the screen and give the user the ability to scroll through them. So we're going to take a look at a widget called a list view in the next section that is designed specifically for scrolling.